whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. It is Friday. It's a tough, again, day with these U.S. Supreme Court rulings coming down, and we will, of course, be touching on them. But I want to hear from you. Today's biggest rulings obviously had to do with the student loan forgiveness and, of course, that web designer that did not want to make wedding websites for same-sex couples. And I have my own ideas about it all. I will share those with you. You may notice I'm wearing a lot more makeup on my eyes than I normally do. This actually has to do with something we're going to be talking about in the second half of the show. A lot more fun type of topic in the second part of the show. We'll have Tim Sika on as well. We'll be talking OnlyFans, people. We'll be talking OnlyFans, and then I'll explain why I seem to be wearing so much makeup so early in the day. Okay, so we're going to start off with talking about the student loan. We're going to get into the decision over the web designer and not having to do business, being forced. It's like slavery, they say, if I have to make a website using my art for a same-sex couple. Okay, we'll get into it. Where do you think that this is heading? Many people, of course, are pointing to, obviously, same-sex marriage, LGBTQ employment protections, all sorts of things are where it could be heading. So do you see it like that? A little bit abbreviated Friday food, simply because I didn't make anything today, but I will be showing you a video that I made of something that I made in the past that just completely, it was so good, but I can never eat it again. So that's coming up. We'll touch on Airbnbs. People are forecasting a collapse. Do you welcome it? Or you're like, no, please don't take my Airbnb from me. There's a really cool Airbnb that you can possibly sleep in for 1 or 2 nights, absolutely free. I'll talk about that. 4th of July is coming. I'd love to hear what you guys are going to be doing. I will be gone next week on my trip to Hawaii, but I will. So keep it and keep checking into YouTube, and I'll be posting hopefully some videos on my YouTube channel. I did get the selfie stick, and thank you, Jim, for your offer, but I did purchase the selfie stick that Jefferson Graham urged me to get to bring out to take kind of family shots on the beach of Hawaii. So I purchased that. I'm still waiting for the phone adapter. It should arrive from Amazon today. Jefferson, I was able to get the selfie stick at Best Buy. So I was able to drive my ass down there and do that. So that was good because I don't always want to order through Amazon, but I did need to get the phone adapter through Amazon. And so I did that, and hopefully it'll come. So I'll be posting pictures from my vacation, maybe some food reviews, because nearly all, I'd say 90% of the recommendations I get from people are completely food and drink related, which I love. So I might little plumper on my way back. If we have time, I want to show you this thing from ABC 7 News. Leanne Melendez took a ride in a Waymo car. Did you see it? So funny. It was just absolutely hilarious. We'll get into OnlyFans. And the reason we're talking OnlyFans is there's this diver that opened an OnlyFans account to pay for his Olympics training. It's kind of like working the pole, right? To go to college, that's the stereotypical story of strippers, right? They're doing it for a better cause, which is fine. You have 100% my support. Make money any legal way you can to reach your goal. So is OnlyFans kind of the new way of doing it. And so I dug deep because Kim and I were cracking up yesterday after the show talking about this story, talking about all the different ways you could use OnlyFans to make money and you don't have to get naked. So we'll get into some of those. And then, of course, like I mentioned, we will talk movies with Tim Sika. Before we do all of that, you guys, please click the thumbs up button to show your support of the show. It really helps us out. The super chat is also live, and it's just during the show or in the replay. Look for the $. You could donate money. And Rick, I love you. Thanks for starting us off with a $20 donation to our super chat feature. It is live. It is a great way to support the show, like I just said. And it goes directly to me and Kim after Google takes its cut. All right. And Google takes its cut, believe me. So if you really want to support us and give us every bang for that buck, please consider being a Medorable and donating to our monthly Patreon. The cut is very, very small. The Patreon takes in comparison to Google, and it's something that we can consistently depend on because hopefully you're not deleting it, obviously, or even bumping it up if you can afford it. I like to call it a tip for the show. So the whole month, what would you tip us for the show? And that's something that can help us out. So just go to thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com, and sign up to be a monthly Patreon subscriber. And at that website, you will also, of course, find the email to our PayPal, which is thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. And of course, our merchandise shop, which is, say it with me, the Nikki Medoro Shop with a P.com. All right. Let's start with student loan, and then we'll get into the web designer decision by the U.S. Supreme Court, which they claim has to do with their First Amendment protections. But first, let's start with, I actually want to start off with this video because, when Donald Trump was first running for president the first time against Hillary Clinton, there were people very, very upset saying, you don't understand what this could mean. You don't understand what this could mean. And people are like, calm down. Calm down. This won't happen. That won't happen. This video has been kind of going around and it just really hit home, man. It really did. Here we go. This is,
I think when we talk about the Supreme Court, it really raises the central issue in this election. Namely, what kind of country are we going to be? What kind of opportunities will we provide for our citizens? What kind of rights will Americans have? And I feel strongly that the Supreme Court needs to stand on the side of the American people, not on the side of the powerful corporations and the wealthy. For me, that means that we need a Supreme Court that will stand up on behalf of women's rights, on behalf of the rights of the LGBT community, that will stand up and say no to Citizens United, a decision that has undermined the election system in our country because of the way it permits dark, unaccountable money to come into our electoral system. I have major disagreements with my opponent about these issues and others that will be before the Supreme Court. But I feel that at this point in our country's history, it is important that we not reverse marriage equality, that we not reverse Roe v. Wade, that we stand up against Citizens United, we stand up for the rights of people in the workplace, that we stand up and basically say the Supreme Court should represent all of us. That's how I see the court and the kind of people that I would be looking to nominate to the court would be in the great tradition of standing up to the powerful, standing up on behalf of our rights as Americans.
But we know how it turned out. Donald Trump won. He made his Supreme Court appointments. And now look where we are. No more Roe v. Wade. And they're going after everything. I mean, pretty soon, and it's hard to not feel like you're exaggerating, right? It's hard to tell yourself, don't worry about it. That won't happen. It's happening. It's happening with every decision by this court. Now, I'm not going to necessarily lump the student loan forgiveness into what we'll talk about next, of course, with the web designer, right? Because the student loan forgiveness, there is an argument that to forgive this much money, it should be an act of Congress. Obviously, we were dealing with the pandemic. People were not able to work. They were not able to pay their loans. So Biden used it as a way to freeze student loans. And then, of course, he wanted to forgive them. This was up to $20,000 in federal debt relief. Now, I'm not saying that it's one of our fundamental rights that we're giving up. We do know the predatory nature of these student loans. And many people should have been using, again, I'm not knocking people that couldn't, right? If you still aren't making ends meet, if you're really, really struggling, I get it that this doesn't necessarily apply to you, but you've had 3 years where you haven't had to make these payments. The smart thing would have been what? It would have been to at least save what you would have been paying. Just save it. Save it in a money market account. Let it collect a little bit of interest just in case. I don't know how many people were able to do that. But there are things that you can do. The Biden administration has made it easier for you to seek forgiveness from several existing debt cancellation programs. This next month, new rules take effect that could broaden eligibility for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program that's aimed at government and nonprofit workers. The Department of Education has also made it easier for borrowers who were misled by their for-profit college to apply for student loan forgiveness. So there are ways, but you need to start understanding. If you were hoping and praying that student loan forgiveness would be upheld in the U.S. Supreme Court, it's over. It is over. What Biden promised, he wanted to deliver, but he can't. The U.S. Supreme Court has said no. Randy says, yep, student loan forgiveness needed to be an act of Congress, just like all the COVID relief that was congressionally approved. I say put it for a vote then. I mean, that seems to me to be the next step, right? Because the Republicans will have to run on this. We have an election coming up. You need to make it abundantly clear, Democrats, who wanted to give the student loan forgiveness and who did not. And again, it works for Republicans in some circles. Some people are pissed. I had to pay, so why other people have to pay? You know, we've had this debate all along. So yeah, it's going to be hard financial times for people, but it is over, and so you need to be prepared. Let's welcome our friend Kim McAllister to the show. And I do want to add this before we start talking about the decision regarding that web designer that didn't want to make websites for gay couples. Just to put a final note on it, and I know because we talk about it a lot on the show. There was an article at SF Gate that people should also keep in mind as they are coming to terms with this fact that student loan forgiveness is not happening as the way President Biden wanted.
Yeah.
You can make more money in a career outside of college, in many cases, by going to community college. So SF Gate was interviewing, for instance, this one person who could not go to a 4-year university because they couldn't afford it. So his chosen field in the community college system propelled him to the top 5% of wage earners from the most recent college graduates. He out-earned many who attended prestigious universities. A Stanford University graduate with a bachelor's degree in political science makes a median annual income of $75,000 4 years after graduation. A UC Berkeley sociology major made $64,000, and a UCLA graduate made $47,000. I had it printed out because I hate websites sometimes.
So are you saying this person that went to community college and just got an associate's degree in
Right.
whatever their chosen field was, but didn't go on to finish the 4-year
Right.
degree, made more money when you're talking about just money? But I mean, and that's great if you're looking at you're going to college only for what your earning potential is. And I know that's a huge consideration, but I think
It should be the number one consideration, Kim.
Should it though? Because a lot of people go to college because they actually want to learn something. They want to learn to, they want to become critical thinkers. They want more knowledge.
Of course, no. But if you are
have
paid
the college experience, it's not all about how much money you're going to make in life. It's about, it's about having that experience and gaining that knowledge.
You can do all of those things secondary to finding a degree in something that's going to pay your bills outside of college. No, I get the whole, and we could disagree. And I know I've had this argument with people so many times. College is great for the experience. Everything that you said, that comes second to making a decision of spending how much money. Because remember, all these loans back, you're going to spend how much money to get an experience and critical think. Yes. Great. Yeah. What the hell are you going to do? College is 4, 6, 8 years. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? You have bills to pay. You want to buy a home. You want to start a business. That takes money. Those days and critical thinking, critically think this. Go to college, afford it. Make sure you can afford it. And if you can't, go to a community college. Start there. You can go to another
I
university after
completely
that.
agree. Yeah.
But I mean, this whole idea of, well, I want to go to X, Y, and Z top name college because of the people I can meet and the experience. Okay.
Right.
And 10 years later, is that going to pay your bills? No, it is not. So people need to wake up. I think that college is totally overpriced. And I think it's, I'm not going to say idiotic, but if we're going to talk about critically think about what you're going to pay for college and how much you're going to make afterwards, because that loan, if you're taking out loans, is going to be there. So think about the trades. Think about trade. This is it. Find a trade that pays you to learn while you're learning the job. How about that?
I have 2 chats I want to share with you. Amy
Okay.
says, I make way more as a pro dog walker than I did as a lawyer.
There you go.
And Joe Blow says, hell, I'm a truck driver who's a high school dropout. I'm on a course to make $175,000 this year.
Thank you. Now, again,
Wow.
some more statistics here, because people get caught up in this idea that if I go to X, Y, and Z university, I'm going to make so much freaking money. So in the San Jose area, Foothill College graduates, community college, 2-year allied health program earn a median salary of $133,000. 2-year degree from a community college, and you're making $133,000. This woman that she interviewed enrolled in Foothill. Now she's finding temporary agencies. She went to to become a dental hygienist, making at least $550 a day as a traveling dental hygienist. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. We need to, as the student loan crisis is just going to come right back. I mean, it is going to be a crisis for so many people. These people are going to have conversations with themselves and the younger people in their lives who are going off to college.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you can have delusions of grandeur of what college is going to be. And then the rest of your life is after that. And you need to find a job, a career, something that makes you money.
Randy agrees with you. James thinks there's something to the value of curiosity and learning for the sake of learning.
But that never stops. That happens in college and outside of college. You don't need to pay buku bucks to be interested in stuff. There's libraries. There's courses you could take every day of your life, but you don't need to pay $100,000 plus for a college education to give you those things.
I just want members of society to have the money and the job that they need to succeed, but also to be people who think about things, who, don't go marching off to the Capitol to riot or get sucked into the QAnon thing, or, don't think about things critically. Like, I want a society of people who are curious, who are learners, who approach things with it. And I don't think we can just say college is too expensive, don't go, because there's value in it.
Of course, I'm not saying that there isn't, but I also don't think that all of those things that you named can only come by going to college.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean all of those things can't still be true, that you can still want to investigate, really, find the real answers to things and not go down stupid rabbit holes and all sorts of things. Yes, college is a great place to meet other people, to be exposed to different ideas, have these kinds of conversations. Of course, I'm not knocking college, but what I am saying is people put so much of I have to do it this way or this won't happen. And that's just not true.
Deidre says her son didn't go to college. He took courses, though, to become an alpine guide, skiing and climbing. That's like a following your dreams kind of thing. That's awesome.
I mean, and good luck, right?
And Randy had it all, a lifelong learner, but with a career that paid the bills. So
the bills are going to come whether you're a critical thinker or not. So you just need to get it together. And my heart does break. Like, it really does break for some people that were really hoping that the Supreme Court, but don't depend on the Supreme Court to do anything correctly. I'm sorry. In about 10 minutes, Biden is supposed to be addressing the nation over the student loan forgiveness. If I could find it during Kim's news, we might listen and dip into it a little bit, but I'll see. But I know what he's going to say. He's going to offer all these other options and say the fight's not over. I mean, what else do you expect him to say? The U.S. Supreme Court made the decision. And I think Not that I agree with it, but I think even the president knew, right? There should be a plan B, because even the president knew that there was a fine line on what he was going to be able to get away with when we're talking about this much money. Okay, so I did a TikTok in a reel this morning after I heard about the U.S. Supreme Court decision regarding that web designer, because I'm just so aggravated by the whole damn thing. This whole argument that they're an artist and that their art shouldn't be used in a way that goes against their beliefs. It never held true to me, because unless they can, in my opinion, unless this Lori Smith woman can prove just how far she went to make sure that every client she had aligned with her faith, I call BS. Okay. So here she is. Now, this was back in, where did it go? I just had it up. So this is Lori Smith. And now this was back in December, I believe. And she was talking, back in December, she was talking about why she brought this case. And she is speaking to the U.S. Supreme Court in the key words that she says all through this video. So here again is Lori Smith.
I want to create unique, one-of-a-kind expression and artwork. And I want to design websites, wedding websites specifically, that are consistent with my faith. But the state of Colorado is compelling and controlling my speech, chilling it, and forcing me to communicate a message through my custom, unique artwork. That violates the core of who I am. And at the core of this case is the right for all to speak freely. That protects not only myself, protects the LGBT web designer, who should not be forced to create custom artwork that opposes same-sex marriage. The right to speak freely is guaranteed to each and every one of us, and a win for me is a win for everybody.
Nope, you're muted.
I call BS. And I think that, and as a straight woman, I'm saying this, although I would consider myself an ally. So I hope I can be in the LGBTQIA part. But everybody that is LGBTQ and owns a business, and no more for straight people that don't support them. No more for non-allies. You get to keep all the art to yourself, right? Because it's as if these people like Lori Smith, they want all the culture, that fabulous wedding dress and that amazing food that can come from the LGBTQ community. So they can do it that way. Their belief system doesn't matter as long as they're getting whatever they want, whatever service they want, because they don't feel discriminated against, because they still get what they want. But God forbid somebody on the other side wants to be treated the same freaking way. And it just bothers me so much that these bigots won. They won. I mean, what is to stop anybody? Again, with this whole idea of religious freedom, it goes against my religion. Well, what if your religion says, I don't want to serve Black people anymore? I'm sorry. My belief system says that they are less than me, right? I don't believe in that. What the hell does that even mean? If you don't believe in gay marriage, say no when the gay person proposes to you. I don't know. But it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah. And I'm so heartbroken, though. I really, really am. I'm so heartbroken for people who look for fairness and equality within the highest points of our government, from the U.S. Supreme Court, and they're being failed time and time again.
As Van Jones said today, this court is not my friend.
No, and I just don't understand how yesterday, and this was being brought up a lot, talking about race shouldn't be brought into it for college admissions. We shouldn't consider. But why does somebody's sexual orientation be brought into anything then? Why is it okay in one instance to forego looking at race as a factor, but it is considered an okay factor when you just want to be treated the same by a business that is offering their services to everybody? Let's see. This was also ABC 7. They were talking about, actually ABC News was talking about this. And the language regarding the ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court does leave a lot of gray areas, what they're saying. They're basically pinning their hopes on the fact that, it will only go as far as this. So here is a little bit of a dissection of it from ABC 7 or ABC News. Here we go.
Of the court, Colorado seeks to force an individual to speak in ways that align with its views but defy her conscience about a matter of national significance. As this court has long held, however, the opportunity to think for ourselves and express those thoughts freely is among our most cherished liberties. So it is a freedom of speech case. The distinction that Baker brought it as a freedom of religion case, a freedom of conscience case. I can't in good conscience endorse this marriage. This is much broader. This is someone, doesn't have to be a religious opinion. It could be, as Justice Sotomayor suggests, at least as far as I can see, there's no limiting principle in this opinion for someone with racist views to say, I don't want to serve an interracial couple if what their business does can be defined as expressive. And that opens that host of questions. Is it Taylor expressive? Is it Baker? We're going to find out.
So that kind of answers the question from Dave. Isn't the web design case an extremely narrow ruling? A creative expression only. What do you consider creative expression? What do you consider creative expression? So Dave says, meaning if you hire a painter to paint your house, they have to do it. But if you hire them to paint a mural, they don't. It doesn't make, do you paint murals? Then you should just paint murals, right? Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate on myself. What if somebody asked me to make a cake or a web design for the KKK? Right? What if there was somebody that wanted something that was extremely hateful to a member of society? Should I be forced to do that? I wouldn't want to do it, right, Kim? I mean, I wouldn't want to have to be forced to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that, but I feel like this idea of lumping LGBTQ same-sex marriage under the same umbrella, let's say, as a hate group, a documented hate group, are completely different. And that's how I see it. They're asking me to make something like Randy's saying with a swastika on it is not the same, in my opinion, as putting congratulations, Mike and Steve, right? Or putting two grooms on top of the cake or two brides on top of the cake.
To you and I, it's completely black and white, totally different issue. But I guess to someone who finds congratulations, Rob and Steve abhorrent, or it makes their heart sad, that's
too
different.
bad.
I feel like if you look at the business we have, which is this show, right? Would we be forced if a member of the KKK wanted to come on and spew their nonsense here if we said no, thank you, we don't want to do this interview?
Right.
I mean, is that the same thing? Are we artists that can decide our art based on our moral values?
I mean, I would say that if they were forcing us to say the KKK stuff, I mean, this is our show. We invite people on to say what they want. We can kick people off. Right. I think it's the expression. So if I'm a cake writer, it's the expression of the cake writing. If my art is this show, what comes out of my mouth would be the art, I guess.
Sure.
And so I can be forced to spew some hateful, racist rhetoric. James makes a great point. Nazi and the KKK are not protected classes. That's the difference. Excellent point, James. They're not the same, and it's not the same, and they're bigots.
Well, from what I was talking to David Katz this morning, and he talks about it in regards to classes of protection. So first class protection is your gender and your race. Those are first class protections. And what this ruling, he said, shows is that you're being discriminated against on the basis of your sexuality, of being LGBTQ, that's a second class right. It is not the same type of right as being discriminated against because of your race or your gender, which is, I think, not fair at all.
Well, what does that even mean? So even if it is second, does that mean it doesn't get as many protections?
Yeah, you're not protected like laws against discriminating against women or discriminating.
I thought it was like race, people. Gender, sexual orientation. I thought that all was.
I don't think sexual orientation is in the original rights.
Well, that's something that should change.
Right.
I don't understand why a business owner, and again, this is the thing also, you're a business owner. Why are you doing this? Why don't you want to sell your goods and wares everywhere? And that woman, Lori Smith, I mean, she just bothers me because again, the token words are unique, one of a kind, expressive, all these sorts of things, because that's what the courts want to see. She's using those words to say, I'm wanting to create a very niche thing for only certain people. Well, the more and more people that want to niche people out, that just turns straight into discrimination. I mean, I create water fountains, and I really just only want to create them for white people. I mean, it's a stupid analogy, but it's where we're going back to, it feels like, doesn't it? It's people can look at somebody when they walk into their business and say, no, I don't like people like you. I don't agree with the way you live your life. And because I have my First Amendment rights protected, I'm going to tell you that, no, you're not allowed here. So where are we going? So if a same-sex couple goes into a restaurant and that restaurant is the owner's art or expression, do they kick them out? So you're not allowed here? I mean, how far does this go? I don't understand. I really don't understand why we're moving in this direction. Besides obviously saying the obvious, which is U.S. Supreme Court, and that's what happened. So
I think it shows that it's critical to vote because we need to change the makeup of this court and put more people that are for the common person and that aren't, trying to turn it into the conservative states of America.
Yeah, we can't let the bigots win. We just can't. And going back to what I was saying before about how the LGBTQ community should just take their art and go home, then take their creative expression and go home. And that's the difference. When people talk about privilege, it's that people like Lori Smith have never gone online and been denied service because of who she is. She has no comprehension of what it feels like to be discriminated simply for being and loving who you are and who you want to love. She has no comprehension, but she feels harmed in some way just by doing her friggin' job. Make the website. We're not asking you to go to the wedding. And I'm sorry, I firmly believe as a born and raised Catholic that when God looks down on her, he will disagree with what she's doing. I firmly believe that. People hold on to their religion so it gives them a cloud or a curtain to hide behind to hate other people. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And it's so disappointing. It's just so freaking disappointing. Okay, Kim's going to do some headlines. I am going to see if President Biden's remarks are going to come up. If he is, we'll bring it up for a little bit. I'm also going to download. It's Friday, and we do like to have fun on Fridays, even though it's such a pissing off day. I have a quick video to show you guys about me trying something, and it was delicious, but I can never eat it again. I will never eat this again. I mean, maybe if I tweak it a little bit, I will, but it's not happening just yet. And you guys, please click the thumbs up button to show your support of the show. I do want to say thank you again to Rick, who started us off with the $20 in the super chat. And Lorraine came in with another $20 as well. So thank you both so much. If you want to donate to the show, either live or in replay, look for the super chat button. It's a $sign under the super chat. And please consider donating to our Patreon, the NikkiMedoroShow.com. Monthly subscribers truly keep this show going. The NikkiMedoroShow.com is where you get all of that information. All right, here is Kim with some news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Let's talk about it. Let's get it on. Looks like the Supreme Court is shooting down President Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt. The High Court today ruling the president exceeded his authority with his plan to forgive more than $400 billion in federal student loan debt. In a 6-3 decision, justices called it an unlawful exercise of presidential power since it bypassed Congress. Meanwhile, President Biden is set to speak very soon about new actions to take to offer relief to student loan borrowers. The president will address the nation in response to the Supreme Court's decision to strike down student loan relief. Tackling student debt was a key pledge President Biden made on the campaign trail in 2020. A man with materials for explosives and an active warrant related to the January 6th Capitol riot is now under arrest after running toward former President Obama's Washington, D.C. home. Secret Service officials saw the man within blocks of the home, detaining him as he was running toward it. His van was parked nearby with multiple weapons and materials to make explosives like a Molotov cocktail. It's a big day for our old friend George Santos. Lawyers for the New York congressman will be reviewing a mountain of evidence against George Santos. He made the first federal court appearance today on Long Island since pleading not guilty to charges of wire fraud, money laundering, and making false statements. Prosecutors allege Santos misused campaign funds and fraudulently received COVID unemployment benefits as well. You may have heard about what's going on at ESPN today. Yeah, biggest talent, doesn't matter. Nobody's immune. ESPN laying off a pair of high-profile NBA personalities. The New York Post reporting Jalen Rose and Jeff Van Gundy have been let go by the network. The company reportedly set to lay off about 20 on-air personalities today. Vice President Kamala Harris is denouncing Republican lawmakers behind the anti-LGBTQ state bills introduced nationwide over the year. Speaking at the LGBTQ Pride event held at her residence in Washington, D.C., Vice President Harris said the nation is up against extremists trying to do an abrupt backward march. She added one of America's strengths is the fight for progress, and that a measure of such is the expansion of rights, not the restriction. Almost 500 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced in state legislatures this year, with roughly 80 of those becoming the law. Somebody else that is losing a job. Oh, maybe you remember Geraldo. Yeah, he's outie. Geraldo Rivera says he's been fired from The Five on Fox News, and so he's quit the network. The journalist said in a video posted on his Twitter page, he will have more to say on Fox and Friends this morning. He was one of the rotating panelists in the liberal seat on the news show, which is the most watched news show on cable news, apparently. So Geraldo Rivera is out. And I know this comes as a big surprise to people. Yes, the fine people at Pornhub will not be able to show their wares to the people of Virginia because of a new age verification law. The state passed a bill requiring adult sites to use a verification system to stop underage viewers from seeing the content, and it takes effect tomorrow. Pornhub is the largest adult streaming service. It argues that presenting an ID card to visit the platform isn't the answer. Instead, it will put privacy and children actually at risk by doing such a thing. Pornhub suggests verification should instead happen by verifying certain devices instead of asking for government IDs. So they're looking for different ways to do this type of thing. I'm Kim McAllister, and this is the Nikki Medoro Show.
Yes, it is not Pornhub. It is definitely the Nikki Medoro Show. But we will be talking about OnlyFans in the second part of the show. I was teasing this. The reason I'm wearing, I don't know if you can tell, I'm wearing like an insane amount of makeup this morning. It really doesn't.
Open an OnlyFans account. Are you ready to go?
It is one of the things we'll be talking about as options for OnlyFans. Yeah, I thought it would show up better on camera, but it doesn't. If you watch my TikToks or my Reels, you can get a really good look at the makeup that I'm wearing. And somebody made it really mean. They're like, what's with all the makeup at like 10 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, it has a purpose. It has a purpose, please. Okay. I take one for the team all of the time. So I am not quite seeing yet any sort of video with President Biden, at least. I don't have the link. I was Googling. With President Biden addressing the nation regarding student loan forgiveness. If it comes up, we might dip into it. If not, we know what he's going to say. He's basically going to say, yeah, sorry, this court didn't do what I wanted it to do, but there's all these other options for you to try to bring down the money and or what you owe, and we'll have all these programs, and they'll find ways to help people out, but it's not going to be this blanket $20,000 loan forgiveness that everybody was hoping for. Okay. It is Friday, so it's Friday food. Now, this video that I'm about to show you, it's a little montage thing, quick little video that I like to make. I follow food. You guys know this. I follow food videos, food accounts all of the time. It's so funny. I don't know if I mentioned this, but one of the people that I follow on, I think Instagram, Cassie, she was on Next Level Chef with Gordon Ramsay, and I only knew her from TikTok, Instagram, and then I saw her on TV, and I was like, ah, so excited. But she's one of the people that I follow that ate what I'm about to show you, and she makes, and there's all different flavors, but people, I like it spicy. I like it really, really spicy.
But not that spicy.
So here we go. You guys tell me in the comments if you've ever eaten this type of ramen. Here.
So I had seen this extra spicy ramen all over TikTok, so I bought it. It's easy to make. Following the directions, I added some extra meat that we had at the barbecue. I mean, it was really simple. I looked at all these TikTok recipes and it looked bomb. That was just the cut up stuff. Now, the flakes were okay. It's that death sauce right there that you add after boiling your noodles. I love spicy. I'm telling you, it was delicious. It was so good. But let me tell you, after it settled in my stomach, I was not doing well at all. I couldn't eat it all.
I'm telling you, I got this pain while I was eating it. I got this like really sharp pain in my side. I thought I was blowing like a hole in my intestine or something. I was so good. I started adding like soy sauce and like stuff like to kind of dilute it a little bit. It was so freaking
What is
spicy.
in there?
It is some spicy death sauce. It was really good. Like the
ghost peppers, or what did they like? What's
yeah,
the
probably
spice?
something like that. I didn't even look. I mean, it was. Hold on, I could probably find a 2-time spicy,
So
and I should have started with a 1-time spicy.
I was thinking it was like burning your mouth off, but it gets inside of you and causes physical pain.
It has a Scoville. Okay, so they say the spicy bulldog is about 2.5 times spicy compared to the original, with a Scoville index of 10,000. So I don't know what that equates to, but it was so freaking spicy. Here, I'll show you the picture. I'll show you the picture of it because this is the one that I got. Hold on, here we go. Let me just share my screen. This is Amazon.
I wouldn't even have put that in my mouth. Like, no.
So this is it. It's hold on. It's right here. It's called Spicy Bulldog Ramen. And it is so freaking spicy.
I love how they say artificial.
Well, it's all artificial. It's artificial spicy chicken
ramen.
Because there's no chicken in it. There's absolutely no chicken in it. Let's look at the back. Let's see. Yeah. So that's just that. It was, but again, it was really good. The flavor, if I could have kept eating it besides the pain, I would have. It was so delicious. So, but yeah, it was. So I'm sitting there, and because it's so spicy, this is the other thing. My husband was cracking up when I told him this because he was gone. So I'm just in misery by myself. Because it's so spicy, I keep drinking more water. And so now I'm not only burning inside, I'm so bloated with so much water. So I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I didn't know. So I'm like, am I going to explode? I had no idea.
Was this a situation where like you were in the bathroom all night? Like what happened to you?
See, this is the thing that gets me. This is why I eat spicy food. I don't have that reaction to it. It was just literally in the moment of like in my stomach eating it. But the next day I totally forgot. So fill in the blank there. Totally forgot. I was like, oh, guess I'm fine.
I wonder if it hurts your stomach, is it going to hurt coming out?
It didn't. It didn't. So to answer that, it did not hurt on the other way. But that's why I keep going back. But I'm like, I'm punishing myself. That's why I keep going back to the spicy food is because I don't get that kind of reaction most of the time. And that was really spicy.
Reaction before to something?
Never.
Spicy?
I have never not been able to finish it. And it's been spicy as hell. I love Thai food. Like I'll make it spicy. I've never like wanting to finish it. Like the last scene that I showed in that video, that was what I had to throw away. I just could not eat another bite. Prepackaged ramen isn't great. Go back to Ramen Champ and Center. Say, I know people. I can't always keep eating out. This was like $2 at the grocery store. But yeah, it was just too much. But again, it wasn't so much my stomach. It was right here, like on my rib cage. Like I started to get this shooting pain. And it was so bad. So on that note, I would go with the normal spicy if you like spicy. They have the next one I want to try. of that kind, that bulldog kind ramen, is they make a carbonara one that you add like cheese to, and it makes it creamy. But I don't think it's as spicy as that. It's not like
Oh
spicy.
God, no. And thank you to Pamela for the $10 super
Thank you.
sticker. Really
Like that's for your
kind.
next hospital bill.
Square, yeah, exactly. Square says there needs to be an equivalent of Narcan for that thing.
Yeah, it's probably just like vomiting it or something, but it was so, yeah, age, you're like my people. Hold on. Thai food, I asked for 3 flames. Yeah, I always ask for a spicy and they go, how spicy? I'm like, spicy, spicy. And they go, Thai spicy. And I'm like, usually it's like, no spice, mild, medium, hot. And then it's like Thai hot. I usually ask for hot because the Thai people, they fire. Shooting pains is exactly. That's why I stopped, Calvin. That's exactly why I stopped. And it was quick too. I mean, I was eating half of it and you saw me there taking the video. So I ate it and I was like, yay, it's really, really good. And then I was like eating more of it. I was like, oh, I'm not doing very good. Yeah. Doesn't the creamy spice sound good though? So the carbonara with a little bit of spice, a little bit of cream, a little bit of cheese on it. I think that sounds good. Absolutely sounds good. So that, yeah.
Not me. Like a little bit of spice and I'm out.
Really? One of my really good friends, black pepper does them in. You know what I mean? Like, no.
No.
Like, no,
if I
not
can feel it in my mouth, like if it makes my tongue burn, it's unpleasant to me. I don't want that.
Well, speaking of your tongue, I was just hearing this on the radio. I forget the exact quote, but it was something to the effect of your tongue does not have a spice on it. They're sweet, sour, salty, and like umami, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not spice. Spice, your desire for it. The people that like spicy food are kinky because spice actually triggers pain receptors. So if you like the pain, if you like the spice, that's what you're liking.
Let's take a review of who Nikki Medoro is. She likes horror movies because she likes that panic response.
Yes, I do.
She likes spicy food because somehow pain is a good thing. I'll keep adding to the list.
It's fine. It's, you know what? In the next segment with the OnlyFans, we can just continue finding my niche right then and there, Kim. Maybe I'll just watch this. Well, I'll save it, but I'll have ideas for what we do in our next segment. So Jim says he Googled the Scoville units. 10,000 is around it's Serrano style pepper. I mean, Serrano, I eat Serrano peppers. Remember the little rice paper wrap with the shrimp that I made?
Yeah.
Did I? Oh no, I used jalapeno for that. I didn't use Serrano for that, but I feel like I can eat Serrano peppers like it's no problem. This was just too much, way too much. But I love it.
The hottest pepper is it's the ghost pepper, right?
I think it's up there. Absolutely. Does Joey Chestnut do spice? I didn't know if Joey Chestnut did spice. He is a hometown boy.
He lives in San Jose. I need to
get
him on the show.
Absolutely. Keep some dark chocolate on hand. It's supposed to stop that burning feeling from hot.
I thought it was milk. It's dark
milk
chocolate?
does too, but dark chocolate.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to test that now. Well, I can't eat that thing again though. I mean, maybe if somebody, maybe I'll have a bite of it. But I told myself, I was like, I was in so much, and I wasn't in pain for a long time. Once I stopped eating it and relaxed for a bit, I was fine. But yeah. I just really like my spicy food. That's all. Yeah, John, I agree. I like spicy food, but not to where I was uncomfortable. And I was totally uncomfortable. I was in pain. I was literally in pain.
It's the Carolina Reaper.
Ooh. Yeah. Is that the one that they put on that chip? Like, that Dorito chip or whatever, where you only get one in the box?
I don't know. I've never heard of such a thing.
Oh, you've never heard of it? The one chip challenge? So there's something called the one chip challenge, and it's the hottest. It's by Pocky. Here we go. I have the thing. So go away. Except I'll cook. I hate
chip challenge, huh?
How have you not heard of the one chip challenge? Well, here we go.
I don't seek it out.
I know, right? So here are the products. This is what it looks like. So there's the haunted ghost pepper, but I thought that there was one that it came in like a single box. The one.
Well, like they give you one chip and that's it.
Yeah, so maybe this isn't the right one. Like
I think I saw it there when you clicked on the.
I thought it was packages. A bag.
It was on the bottom right. It said, "Yeah, keep going." One there.
Yeah, things are heating up soon, but that's the website. So yeah, basically, it is one chip that you eat, and it's extremely hot, and
burns
people
the hell out of your face.
Oh, and people have been so mean. There's videos you could find them all over YouTube where people they're like, "Hey, do you want a chip?" And they go, "Yeah, sure," and it's. And you know how you eat chips. You throw the whole damn thing in your mouth, right? You're like, All right.
No, I would die.
No, I would die
But,
too.
but you know what? A one chip challenge, though, it might burn your face off, but it doesn't give you intestinal pain. I mean, I'm concerned about what it actually has done to your inside.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, again, I think that if the next morning I was still in pain, that would have been something. Kathleen, is the hot ones the one where they have to eat the chicken wings that get progressively hotter while they do an interview? Because that's really funny. So there's this interview channel. I don't know if it's the hot ones, but there's celebrities go on it and they interview them while they keep eating chicken wings, and each chicken wing is progressively hotter. Oh, it is so funny. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Yeah, I think then we're probably thinking of the same one. Yeah, John, the chips that are really, really hot, they come into like these little coffin things. We had some sent to Station X when they were like really trying to promote themselves. No, I'm not going to. See, this is the thing. Somebody else mentioned I like spicy, just not people that like to do it to show off.
Yeah.
The problem I find with restaurants specifically that do like these hot challenges is the spice doesn't taste good to me. Like I like spicy food that tastes good. Like I like my Thai food because the chicken and everything, in addition to the spice, tastes good. Some of these like barbecue sauces, yeah, they're gross.
They're
like,
highlighting the spice, not the food,
not the flavor. So it
Yeah.
needs to taste good. That's what keeps me going and pushing through the pain. Yeah, it's but do it. No, Amy,
Amy will do the challenge with you. She's gonna do it with you.
Maybe on this Friday food. I don't know. See how far we. Yeah, no, because then I'd have to do the rest of the show. It'd have to be like the last segment.
Oh, the Pocky one chip challenge has the Carolina Reaper pepper and the scorpion pepper.
Scorpion, yeah, no. Ooh, Mindy has an interesting one. Test different jalapenos to see how much heat you can take before turning green. See, I eat raw jalapenos, but like with something. Just eating a straight jalapeno, I don't do unless it's pickled. You know the stuff. You know you can pickle it. Sometimes you get in the can with the carrots and everything. I could do that, but the pickling takes a lot of the spice out of it. Pushing through the pain. I know what it means to push through the pain, and unless there's a baby on the other side of it,
No.
I don't know if I'm going to do it. I know. And Stars, thank you for bringing this up. So the Hui Fong Sriracha, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's $100. I went on Amazon to double check this a couple of days ago. It was at first it was like 60. Now it's ridiculous. You know what this means? I feel like this means we're going to start seeing some of their sriracha on the shelves soon, because this is what people do. They overbuy it and the price goes up, and then all of a sudden the company's like, we need to get this out there to make some money.
I was reading a story yesterday that says they're still having a shortage because of the recent drought.
Oh yeah.
It was a drought. And it's still affecting their production. And so I don't think your sriracha is coming back anytime soon.
I think it can. I mean, not in the huge quantities. And again, they're still selling it from what I understand. And if there's any restaurant owners that use it in their restaurant. So the company only sells directly to grocery stores and restaurants. So it's not like you can go on their website and buy it individually. So the restaurants have it. People are stealing it from like food trucks. If they have a sriracha bottle on it, people are snatching it.
Wow.
Right? So it's insane. Now there's other types of sriracha. Tabasco makes one. I have one. In my opinion, it's definitely not the same. The one that I have, every time I do this friggin' show, there's a gnat in my house that wants to join in. I'm sorry. The one that I have, it's a little too sweet. There's something in it that's sweet in addition to spicy. I still use it because it has a little bit of the spice. I can live. There's no I love the rooster sauce. Absolutely. Hands down. Love it. No friggin' way am I paying $100 for it. No, thank you.
So here's the story that came out yesterday. They say drought conditions in Mexico from a year ago are still impacting the supply of Hui Fong sriracha sauce because of a shortage of red jalapeno peppers, making it hard for hot sauce lovers to get their hands on a bottle. According to the LA Times, the sriracha sauce is selling out within a day at one Alhambra market. That's if and when they even get a shipment. Here in Northern California, restaurants in the Bay Area are reporting people stealing the bottles off tables. The company says they are still experiencing a shortage, but limited production has resumed. The bottles are in such hot demand that third-party sellers on Amazon are selling them from $22 up to $125.
Yeah, no, that they're price gouging you. That's ridiculous. I think the gnat went up my nose. Sorry.
No.
I swear to God, this freaking gnat. No, I love, but you don't like spice, so this doesn't impact you at all. But
Yeah,
does anybody
no.
have another type of sriracha that they like to use, or is it just the hui fong or nothing? Because the rooster sauce is the OG. It is the original, and it's so yummy. I mean, I put it on everything.
Huifong rooster sauce or no?
It's called rooster sauce because there's a rooster on it.
Is it
Like
the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
It's their sriracha. They call it rooster sauce because the sriracha bottle has a rooster on it.
Okay.
So they'll call it rooster sauce, but it's sriracha. But it's really, really, really good. I would get, like, there was Senior Seasig's food truck in San Francisco. They would do the burritos, but I would always get the salad with like the chicken or the pork or whatever. And then I would just douse and like all the fresh cold lettuce with the hot chicken. And then I coat it in sriracha. Bomb. So good. Now I'm hungry. I didn't eat anything, damn it.
Something's wrong with you.
I love it. And I might have to get some, see, I've been holding off. I've been holding off on trying not to get like anything that I'm going to get in Hawaii to make my, the desire grow and grow and grow. And somebody asked where I'm going. I'm going to Maui. But yeah, I might have to get some Thai food today because we talked about it. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. I'm trying to eat all the food in my house too.
Some drunken noodles, maybe, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say drunken noodles to me again slowly because I absolutely love it.
Drunken noodles.
Jim, I do have chili crisp also in my fridge. It's not the same though because it's an oil. You know what I mean? Like I could drizzle it, but I mean, I would just, it's a different type of topping. But I do like chili crisp. I put it probably just as much and use it just as much as sriracha, but on different things. Like I would put chili crisp also in my ramen. And I bet that's also what did me in. I was even going to add to the spice to that freaking ramen before I taste it. And I'm so glad I did not. I saw Trader Joe's and Stars. I didn't try it. If anybody knows if it's good, I'll go pick some up.
For me, spice equals pain and punishment.
Not me.
My mom used to use spice as a punishment when I was little.
That's so mean.
I tell you about that?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think you told me this at Station X. Actually.
She would put Tabasco sauce on my tongue if I was bad. And then I would have to sit there with no milk or anything. And my mouth was on fire. So as a little kid, I learned that spice hurts you. And spice.
At what age did she start doing this to you?
I don't know. I was a rotten kid. So I would imagine pretty young. No, she did that to me because her mom did it to her. That was the punishment. I have not done that to my children because I think, I don't want to ruin spice for them. I don't want to ruin food.
Well, the punishment doesn't really fit the crime. I mean, if you were cussing, I know that people would do soap or something like that. To cleanse the bad words out of your mouth. But my mom tried that once. I think I told you this. My mom tried the whole soap thing once. I was way too old for her to try to do that to me. I think I had to have been like 14. Okay. And she's trying, I'm like her height, and she's trying to shove this bar and we're both cracking up. She's like, put it in your mouth. Cause I have a total potty mouth and I still do. And she's like, put this in your mouth. And I was like, no, you're going to poison me. And we were just totally cracking up. My mom was the worst. She was the worst punisher because she didn't really punish us in that way. She was always threatening and never actually doing. So hence, mom, that's why I have a potty mouth. And also because you cussed like a sailor also. Yeah, don't ever put a soap in a child's mouth to wash out naughty words. Exactly. It never would work anyway.
My son was curious. We were telling him that was an old punishment. And he said, I'll take a bite of soap. That's fine.
Ew.
And
did
so
he?
my husband's like, all right, well, here's some soap. Take a bite of it. And so he did. And he never will do it again. He's like, that is disgusting. But we didn't force, we didn't use that as a punishment. He was just curious, why is that so bad? He found out.
Do you remember our coworker who bit into the soap that our other coworker made?
No.
So at Station X, we had a coworker, shout out to Rob, who always used to make, I think he still does. He used to make this really great soap and he made it into some sort of shape that must have looked like food to another coworker. They took the biggest bite out of it. And oh my God, the whole newsroom was in an uproar laughing. I was like, oh my God, it's soap. It's not food. It looked really pretty, but do not eat the soap. It's terrible. Okay, so Kim, you're going to do some headlines. When we come back, I'm going to explain my makeup, even though you can't really see it that well.
You don't look like a hoochie makeup mama today. I mean, you look normal.
No,
It's
okay,
kind
I'm
of
gonna.
your
I'll share a
eyes.
picture.
I can see you have some pink on your eyes, and it
Yes,
looks
well, I was
pretty.
wearing pink, so I chose pink. So I
Yeah.
got this new makeup palette. I will explain to you why I was fussing around with my makeup way too early this morning. And I'm not much of a huge makeup person, but I wanted to get some fun colors to play with while we're in Hawaii with my nieces. So I'll have that, and then we'll explain what this possibly has to do with OnlyFans. And do I have anybody? Okay, I'll open it up to this. Does anybody in the comments go on OnlyFans or post on OnlyFans? And you could change your name. Who cares? Like, whatever. Why? What do you watch on OnlyFans? What do you think is the most popular? And would you ever post on OnlyFans? Because people, they're making so much freaking money on OnlyFans. And we'll talk about this diver who's trying to cash in on all the hype. So click the thumbs up button. And here's Kim with some news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
So President Biden is proposing new actions to offer relief to student loan borrowers after today's Supreme Court ruling. The president's address to the nation comes after the Supreme Court ruled that he exceeded his authority by bypassing Congress in doing this. Earlier, the president vowed this fight is not over. Tackling student debt was a key pledge that President Biden made on the campaign trail in 2020. Big weekend for travelers over the 4th of July. Record amount of travel expected over this 4th of July weekend. AAA projects more than 50 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home. According to a press release from AAA, that would overtake the previous record of 49 million set in 2019, right before the pandemic. Lawyers for New York Congressman George Santos will be going through what they call a mountain of evidence against their client. Santos made his first federal court appearance today on Long Island since pleading not guilty to charges of wire fraud, money laundering, and making false statements. The judge is giving the congressman's defense team the summer to review what prosecutors say is more than 80,000 pages of evidence against Santos. Prosecutors allege Santos misused campaign funds, fraudulently received COVID unemployment benefits. The Republican is due back in court September 7th. 80,000 pages of evidence. It seems like a lot, allegedly. Brazil's highest court has a majority to ban their former president Bolsonaro from running for office for the rest of the decade. That is based on charges suggesting he abused his political power and improperly used public resources. 4 of 7 judges voted to find him guilty, with 2 more expected to announce their own decisions today. So I guess in Brazil, they can prevent you from running for a period of time. Here in California, Governor Gavin Newsom will get $380 million to transform part of San Quentin State Prison in Marin. The new state budget deal includes just over $360 million in bond monies and $20 million from the general fund. His new spending plan doesn't commit to closing more facilities, as many Democratic lawmakers in Sacramento had actually wanted, but Governor Newsom plans to convert a portion of the Bay Area prison in San Quentin into a rehab center. The governor has expressed interest in tearing down one of the prison buildings. Since his State of the State tour in March, he wants to turn it into an educational and a vocational space by 2025. And some news about Elon Musk. His mama wants her son to tap out in a proposed cage match against Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg before it even starts. Despite mom's concerns, the plans to hold the fight moving forward. Musk has already received an invitation to train with UFC champion George St. Pierre. Zuckerberg has already been training in martial arts. He's doing jiu-jitsu and has recently participated in his first Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournament where he won 2 medals. Odd makers favor Zuckerberg in a potential cage match. The pay-per-view fight could break previous records and generate more than $1 billion in revenue. Musk's mom's like, don't do this, you big dummy.
Oh, please do it. Shut up, Mom. Shut your face. I mean, wouldn't it be so funny if it just like became like a bunch of like
it won't.
I know he has jiu-jitsu.
His rear end. Yeah. Musk is going down. Have you seen videos of Mark Zuckerberg? He's a total athlete,
I
from
know.
fencing to surfing to
He does that whole
jujitsu.
that foils
He's like,
surfing
he takes
thing.
really good care of himself, and he's very athletic. Like, he has a lot of abilities and skills. He'll beat Elon Musk to a pulp. Don't
Yeah,
do it.
I don't
Don't
know.
do it,
I mean,
Elon. Sit it out. Your mom's right.
Oh, and
Don't do
Tim,
it.
thank you. I did just send you the link, by the way, Tim. Tim Sika is going to be joining us in about 20 minutes or so. For
Awesome.
movies,
Okay,
but,
cool.
I'm always the brain fart on sending links. Yeah. Okay. So obviously everyone thinks that Mark Zuckerberg is going to win.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, and it's going to sound totally mean, but do you think that it doesn't matter what Mark Zuckerberg does? Everyone's going to look at him like he's just this dweeb.
Like he's just a what?
Dweeb.
A dweeb.
I mean, a very rich, smart. Not. There's a million other adjectives I could use, but like,
no,
you know,
I think this could actually help Mark Zuckerberg's
really?
image. Yeah, because
really
when he gets in a ring with this kind of older, I don't want to say he's overweight, but he's not in shape like Mark Zuckerberg is. Like, Mark Zuckerberg's kind of ripped.
Oh,
So
yeah, no, he's
you
totally
can think
in
he's a
shape.
dweeb, but when he gets in there with his shirt off, looking like a major athlete, people are going to be like, "That's Mark Zuckerberg." I think it'll do. His image will go boop. Yeah,
maybe. I you know what?
and he starts
I don't
doing
think
his
cage match
jujitsu
to do it.
move.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I would really, really love to see it. So
The only person this behooves is Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, I guess you could say, well, Elon Musk then looks like he's at least a fun person who's willing to,
Elon Musk does not look like he's in shape.
But I think Elon Musk does these things for ego reasons.
Oh, of course. And also if the challenge is put out there, what's he supposed to say? You know what I mean? So
well, he's the one that made the challenge.
Right. So let's do it, dude. Let's do it for charity. Let's do it for not SpaceX or Meta. Let's do it for charity, shall we?
He's gonna get pummeled. Maybe Zuckerberg will knock some sense into Musk.
Maybe they could just pay off everyone's student loan debt, and then we don't even have this problem anymore.
That's a brilliant idea.
All right, are you done? Is that your news?
I'm done. That's it.
All right, that's
Party
Kim
over.
McAllister. Thank you. Okay, so Kim and I, we talk when the show ends. Don't be jealous. We talk for a couple of minutes after the show. And so she lays this story out to me, and I want you to do the story first because we were just cracking up. I'm like, okay, we have to do the story tomorrow because I think there is the possibility of making some real money if we would just follow in this guy's footsteps. So tell us about this Mexican diver.
Okay, so this Mexican diver, he has Olympic dreams, right?
Right. And it's not easy to go to the Olympics, as we know.
No.
Training costs, pool time, coaches, all that. That costs a lot of money.
His name is Diego. I have a picture here I want to show you.
Okay.
His name is Diego Baeza, Balleza.
Baeza,
Diego Baeza. He had some funding from Mexico to train.
All right.
But the funding has dried up.
Okay.
They are no longer offering the funding to him, but he still wants to go to the Olympics and he still needs to train. So he needed to find a way to pay for it. All right, here's a picture of him.
Woo!
Okay, so he's a good-looking fella, right? He's in shape. He
looks like he could take on Mark Zuckerberg. Definitely.
He could take on pretty much anybody. But Mr. Baeza is now worried that he doesn't have any of this funding. So he's going to
go on OnlyFans
in order to raise money. Baeza is one of several Mexican athletes who have been affected by a dispute between World Aquatics and Ana Guevara, who's the head of Mexico's National Sports Commission. Since January, they have stopped providing monthly payments for aquatics athletes. World Aquatics suspended the president of the federation and appointed a commission to take charge while new elections are held. But this whole thing means that Mr. Baeza is not getting any money.
And he won the silver medal in the 2004 Athens, Guevara won the 2004 Athens Olympics, but cut the allowance to all aquatics athletes.
Right. Baeza was fourth in synchronized diving on the 10-meter platform at the Tokyo Olympics. Okay. So he's pretty high up there in the diving world.
Yeah.
He chooses OnlyFans this site where creators upload images and videos, some explicit, maybe some not. He says, the quote is, "It occurs to me to open it because you're always looking for a way to make income. I support my house and my mother. I have bills to pay, and you can upload whatever you want in there, and it's valid content." He said, "I'm happy that the people who are on my page have been very good and respectful. I hope they continue like this." So he tells the Associated Press that he charges a monthly fee of $15 to access his content on OnlyFans, but also he offers quarterly packages for $40. As of Monday, he had uploaded 136 images, 26 videos, and he had more than 14,000 interactions with fans. He used to get from Mexico, from this whole, aquatic money-making facility, he would get about $1,700 a month as a government scholarship. "The money I now receive from OnlyFans," he says, "is volatile, but so far it served me very well." The government of the state of Nuevo León, where he lives and trains, is supporting him. He is getting some money from the private sector, but mostly from the OnlyFans thing. So,
Interesting. Okay, so the question
yeah.
that Kim and I were debating was, would you ever do OnlyFans to make money? And we both agreed we don't want to get naked, right? No, like no naked. So then I said, what about feet? So this is I found this article that listed a bunch of ways to be on OnlyFans and make money. Okay.
Wait, and then Nikki says to me, she says, "Well, what body part would you show?"
Right.
And so I spent all last night thinking looking at my body, thinking, what part is okay?
Well, why would
to
you
show?
explain to people why you wouldn't? See, this is what I disagree with. I disagree with your reason on why you would not put your feet, let's say, like stepping and pudding on OnlyFans. Now, why did you tell me?
Okay, because when you're stepping in Jello or pudding or whatever, you know that somebody on the other end of the screen is full on perving out to you.
So
like there's somebody that's
could be perving out on us right now, Kim McAllister, and we're not showing nothing.
No, we're just normal. We're just normal ladies right now. We're not.
Maybe people get off on normal ladies bitching and moaning about stuff on YouTube.
I couldn't. And then every time you see the money or you pay for something, you're thinking, "There's my feet money." No, I can't do it.
Really? See, I'm totally different. I'm like, you want me to, if it's my feet, now I have a thing with feet. I don't particularly like my own feet and I don't like people touching my feet. Okay. So feet would definitely not be the one that I would want to go into. But if all I had to do, if I could do it, was walk in pudding slow-mo with some sexy music behind me, and you're going to pay me for that? Done. I don't care what the hell you do on the other side of the computer.
How low are you going to sink to make money?
That's not sinking. That's stepping and pudding.
If you know there's some guy jacking off to your feet, come on, that's sinking.
Why is it? Who's sinking? The guy that's paying to watch somebody step in pudding,
or you putting your feet in there, squishing stuff through them, knowing full well what people are doing.
I mean, I need some voting to go on over here. Now, who is right or wrong? Because the feet is one of the popular ones. I think that there are other ways. I'm going to go down.
Your hands. Would you show your hands? And what do you have to do with your hands?
Well, if I have to do something sexual with my hands, then I'm doing something sexual, right? So I'm trying to find things that aren't inherently by themselves sexual. Walking in pudding is not inherently sexual. I am not doing anything on my side.
It's sexual if you know someone else thinks it's sexual. And how can you not think they're doing that? I mean, you're cracking up. You think it's funny, but somebody else is like, oh, oh, oh.
Okay, so Chris says you can make money eating food on camera. Would my Friday food segment now not be possible because somebody could be perving out on it?
No, but that's not why we do it, though.
So you're saying because I know,
right?
The knowledge is what's the problem.
That's right. So when we do our Friday food segment, we are not doing it for that reason. We're doing it to try stuff.
I'm doing it for that reason now. I'm going to tell you every freaking time now. That's why I'm doing it. Are you kidding me?
I'm going
Everything I do from here on out
is going to be sexual.
No, it's not going to be sexual, but I'm going to say that there is somebody perving out on it just to make you uncomfortable.
Oh my
God. Now, Jennifer says, if you have an OnlyFans, somebody is going to be perving on you. So you have to accept that people go on that site because they want to fulfill a kink, right?
What else do they do on that site? Isn't it only porno kind of stuff?
So there, perfect question. Now, James asked, would you like it if some dude was checking out your husband's feet online? If I posted
Nikki
my
would be
husband,
like, yes, give me the money from my husband's feet.
exactly. If I took a picture, me and my husband, I took a picture of my husband's feet, not genitals or anything like that, his feet, and I posted it up there. Someone's like, I'll give you $50 if I can have that picture. Done. Are you kidding me right now? Sure. How about it? I hope that brings you joy. Go with God. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't make sense to say no, in my opinion.
I
Like,
mean, do we not have to have some standards here? Do we not have to have some some respectability? I'm just saying, Nikki.
It's not. It's if there was putting on the ground and you accidentally stepped in it.
There's not putting on the ground unless you put pudding on the ground because you're going to stick your feet in it. So some weirdo.
The bowl of pudding, I'm gonna be like, oops, and then the bowl will like go in slow-mo down, and then it'll splash all over the. See, I'm already cinematography, and then it'll splash on the ground, and I'll go ooh, and then I'll just lift up my foot and I'll step in it. Done. I'm rich. There we go. I think it would be a great idea. Okay, there are other ideas. So this is one that's right up your alley. Safe for work content. It's the abbreviation is SFW. Okay. And it's frequently used to indicate a message that may be opened safely in the workplace. It implies the content of the message or post will not offend the recipient's employer or coworkers. It does not imply that the message is work related, only that it's fine to be seen by anyone. OnlyFans has profiles that have no explicit content and would be safe for anyone to watch.
So what kind of content? What are they doing then?
I would say putting videos, but just anything that if you saw a video on your coworkers, well, not mine now that you know, but if you were walking by a computer and there was just somebody stepping in pudding, you wouldn't necessarily think that it was bad.
I would think, oh my God, I didn't know that Brian's a perv. I didn't know until just now, this very moment, till I walked by his work computer and he's doing foot fetish. That's what I would think.
All right, here's some other ones. Selfies. So you could just take cute selfies of yourself and put them up there, which
in
I don't
scantily clad positions, or
probably I would say obviously nude photos you could do, cosplay pictures and videos. So you dress up as a character.
Like a furry, furry weirdness?
Possibly.
Yeah, no, not doing it.
You can make couple videos with your significant others.
Not doing it.
You could do pool photo shoots. So you're just swimming in, like you could be in the ocean and be like, I don't know.
Is that a sexual fetish?
To see chicks in bikinis on the computer, yes.
Oh, you have to have like a slamming body and be in
a bikini. I mean, or you don't. I'm telling you, for every person, there is another person. I'm telling you, that's willing to pay for it. You can dance in cute outfits. Dancing in cute outfits is one of the most popular things that people like to watch on OnlyFans. It's a great way to keep your fans engaged and entertained. So you can learn like the latest TikTok dance and dance around. Would you have a problem with that?
I think that's dumb, but weird.
I think you just don't like OnlyFans because you know that a lot of people go on there to masturbate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Wes wants to know if OnlyFans has legit profiles like cooking lessons, hobbies, etc.
Okay, so yes. On this list, it's called influencer made, which is this whole genre, right? You can make your own music video to a song. A lot of people use it that way. Filming a gym workout. Now, of course, there's always this like attractive type of aspect, I'm assuming, but maybe not. Again, I've never gone on the OnlyFans site, and I'm not even lying. I've never gone on there because I don't want that algorithm.
Well, this might be your whole new line of business with the foot thing.
Well, makeup tutorials are an extremely popular type of OnlyFans video, which require very little effort. So when I was looking at this list, that's why I put on this makeup. So I got a new makeup palette. I did not make an OnlyFans video about it, but I was thinking to myself, so here's the picture of my, and I am not a makeup artist. I'm not even going to fake the funk that I'm a makeup artist, but it was really pretty. So here it is. See? So it's like shimmery right there. Yeah.
So did you go on OnlyFans and do this? Is that what you did?
No, I just was using it as an example of something that I could possibly do. So if I did makeup and I put it on OnlyFans, would that be a problem?
Well, I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong because I guess everybody has a fetish for everything, but I don't think makeup tutorials are fetishy, right? So people that are logging on are looking to get help with their makeup. They're not looking to perv out on you.
So
Right?
there we go. Well, that's what I mean, that's what I would hope. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
these are definitely like take your clothes off slowly, take a shower in a bathing suit. It's like obviously, but share behind the scenes footage of something that you're doing, foot pictures and videos, motivational videos. So you can go on OnlyFans and be a motivational speaker, I guess. You can give modeling tips.
You can do it.
Make a vlog. You could do live streams. So there you go. It's not just TNA and feet. It can be something else.
Wes has a good idea for us. He says we should do the show putting cameras on our feet and wiggle them. Put the feet
That's
on OnlyFans while
interesting.
you're. So we could be doing 2 broadcasts at once, like one above
Yeah,
and one
one
below.
below. And you like you
Yeah.
can listen to it through my feet. You can listen to the show through my feet. Would you do that?
No,
See, Kim,
I'm
you're
sorry. I have not fallen so far.
It
as
is not falling.
Put my
See,
feet
this
on
is
the
thing,
internet.
though.
Yeah,
Okay, I want to
no.
look up. Hold on. How much does the average OnlyFans creator make? Okay, well, okay, so it ranges, right? Let's see. So
I love our
OnlyFans.
chatters. I love you guys.
Okay, so due to the nature of this site, this site says Spend Me Not estimates the average account earns about $220 a month. So that's the average person, not a big, huge.
So you're willing to
influencer.
sell your feet for $220 a month?
You're
Not
saying
enough.
that that's the lowest I could do? I mean, I could put a little bit of work in, keep listening. Creators can charge for a
You're
monthly
saying
subscription.
your foot thing would be so much better. You would
I
make
mean,
a lot
a
more.
little bit of advertising goes a long way, right? I'd just be like taking a picture, like, you want to see more? I'll slowly take off my nail polish for you.
I will say
I
you,
could give
you
2
are an
crabs.
expert at the teas, so I'll give you that. Yeah.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
exactly. See, look at Lori. Totally looking into this. Need money and have good feet. Just have to get out the nail polish. Maybe combine that with weird whimpering thing I can't remember the initials for. Completely serious. Do it. Do it.
There's a
I'm
weird
totally going to
whispering
support
thing,
you. If you
Lori?
do it, I'll promote your OnlyFans.
Lori,
Done.
what's the weird whispering thing?
Maybe combine it with the weird whispering thing. I can't remember the initials for. Oh, the ASMR. That's what she's talking about.
Oh.
You don't know what ASMR is?
No, what's that?
Oh, but you know what it is. ASMR is that audio sensory something. So everything's really quiet and then they scratch on the thing so that you hear it. And like everything's ASMR, like the cooking thing where it's all the sounds. It's all sound. People that love the sound. It's like this auditory orgasm that people have. ASMR.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I could do that.
Yeah, you could just talk really quietly. That's what they do. They do that. They go, I'm going to describe my feet for you really quickly. And I'm going to take, and then, and people get off on it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm up on all this stuff. I'm hip with what all the kiddos are doing. But anyway, let's see. So let's see. It's not hard to find people who claim to make a lot on OnlyFans. One vlogger documented how she made more than $1,400 in her first month. And it's split between subscriptions and revenue from paid for private interaction. So you can charge more if they want to like have a one-on-one and watch you step in the pudding.
No.
Or maybe I can make the pudding.
No,
and then I can do the whole slow-mo drop on the ground and then smear it, write their name with my toe in the pudding.
So then you have gone from doing this thing that's like maybe someone's, touching themselves on the other side of the screen.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
I
Yes.
know this one guy is watching me and I know exactly what he's doing.
Okay, so what if it was this though? Okay, so imagine I'm sitting here just like normal clothes, right? And I just roll the bottom of my jeans up and I just have the camera like knee down, right? And on the top up here, I'm watching, Next Level Chef. And on the bottom, I'm just like, my feet are just in a bowl of pudding and it's just like ching, 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 ching. And I'm just sitting there making money. That's
so what are you gonna do when your kids come in and say, "Mommy, why is your feet in pudding?" And
making money. 2 words.
I heard it makes your feet softer. Well, why is there a camera pointed at your feet, Mommy?
Money.
I'm sending you to college. Then I'll forever think that my kid's college degree is with my foot money. No, thank you.
Yeah, look, back to the ASMR thing. Al Anonymous says just chewing on hot Cheetos for $100 is wild. These are the ASMR thing. Yeah, it's big. Oh, but Dave makes an interesting point too. He says it's not just OnlyFans. It bleeds over to Instagram and everywhere else if you become popular, multi-income from multiple sources.
Oh.
But how do you see? This is my problem with your stance on it. Like, you
Mommy's
know,
at
you're
work,
not
go
doing
away.
anything. I'm working over here. It's just a lot of money. And so to go back to the original reason we talked about this,
Mommy, did you make enough for my new iPhone?
get me more pudding. And then maybe bring Mama more pudding.
I'm sorry,
asked
that
you to
is
make me
so
more
wrong. Like,
Jell-O.
no.
I need more Jell-O. I'm not doing anything wrong. I just have my feet in pudding or Jell-O.
You
There's a
are
huge
selling
difference.
yourself for sexual reasons for money. Like, at the end of it all, that is still what it is. Whether you've, actually had the sexo, or whether you just know somebody's using your feet for the sexo,
If
you
you
have
found out
sold
one
your
person
body
watched
for money.
if you found out that just one person watched this show as we currently do it and was getting off on it, would you continue to do the show?
Because that's not why we're here. Right?
You said that such as like a mom. That's not why we're here. I'm sorry that you have a problem, but that's not why we're here.
It's not why we're here. It's not what we're doing. The purpose of this show is to talk about the stories of the day, to have interesting conversations, to engage our folks that are with us along for the ride in interesting conversations. Learn from you guys. You learn from us. We all learn together. We're all a community.
Learn how to make money.
Now,
Learn
if
how
there's
to make
some
money.
wackadoodle do on the other side of the green somewhere, my apologies if that's you, that is doing the do, well, I can't help that. But that is not why we're here.
Well, then just tell yourself that and stand on the freaking pudding. Just be like, I'm just doing this for people that like pudding. Just tell yourself that. It's the message that you tell yourself. That's what you're telling me. You're saying basically, I need to believe that nobody is getting off on it because that's not why I'm doing it. So just tell yourself as you collect all that dough from OnlyFans, I'm only doing this for people who aren't getting off sexually or just like to look at pudding and feet.
Are you
They like
saying
pudding
that
and
while
they
I
like
stick my feet in the whipped cream, I should be talking politics?
Why not, man? Why not? There you go. Combine two talents. I don't know. Anybody else?
Jenny says you're giving her ideas for a side hustle.
That's what I'm saying. When we were talking about this yesterday, I was like, what could we do that would be okay? And Kim wasn't having any of it.
No.
So I was like, well, we have to debate this.
No, you had me last night looking at every body part from knees to ankles. Like, what part, she said, what part would you show?
What about like just your earlobe? What if you just had to play with your earlobe, putting earrings in and out of the hole? Would you do that?
I couldn't do it with a straight face.
And it's in and it's out. No, I lost the back.
No, I'm not doing that. Not with it. No. Putting it in and out of the hole. I mean, how do you sit there and do that without your hands shaking from you laughing so much?
You just think of all the dollars that you're getting.
Oh
That's how, man. That is how you do it. All right. Well, I hope that I gave everyone a lot of ideas.
Oh God. I think we have too many ideas.
I know, but I like what was it Wes that said we should record our feet while we do the show, and then hopefully you could just tell yourself that that's not why we're there. We're not there for people to just get off on it. We're just there. Yeah, and so
sell the earrings afterwards.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, we could bid for it. Who wants this dirty little earring that I wore?
Mike and Napa says, "Show me the ankles. Show me the ankles." No, Mike and Napa, you don't get the ankles.
Just you rub the Achilles heel over and over.
Craig wants to know what we're smoking. I wonder too. Can we eat the pudding? Mindy, no,
Mindy had to go there. But if it's somebody, or they want you to mail it to them after, that's what I would do. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you can pay me
that
X amount of dollars.
Reminds me of that thing on Orange is the New Black where they had this prison scam where they were selling you'd wear underwear for a couple of days and then you'd sell it.
Oh yeah.
Someone would buy your used undies.
That's huge.
So disgusting.
But I mean, again, just to go back, and I know that's a little kinkier, and I don't know if I'd really do something like that. But think about it. All you have to do is live your life. And at the end of the day, the chonies that you have on, you just take them off, put them in an envelope. There you go. And you make money for that.
This is not a body part that I would have thought of.
An arm butt. Yeah.
James says, show me the arm butt where you take a close-up photo of the crease at your elbow.
Oh, elbow. I thought the armpit too. There's the armpit too. So yeah, people do that all the time.
Wait, what is it? What's
so you just crop the picture of it's the line. So if you crop it, it kind of looks like a butt.
Okay. All right.
So what if you did that? It's not actually your butt.
Jennifer wants me not to dwell on what happens on the
Thank
other
you,
end.
Jennifer. You're speaking my language. Like, who cares what they're doing? And did I get the money? Did I do anything sexual? Done. So win-win for me.
Lori says, my biceps and my upper back look awesome right now. Who cares what the person looking at me is doing as long as I don't have to interact with them personally? Lori, because you know what they're doing.
Ignore it. Ignore it. Stop. Keep your eyes on your own paper, Kim McAllister, as you always say.
God.
Keep your eyes on your own paper and your own bank account. And there you go.
Yeah, but it is my own paper if I'm the one doing the showing off of said arm butt.
Yeah, but like, it's not harming you in any way, shape, or form. It's not going against your vows. It's not even going against your moral code. Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm again, though, I have such a thing about going on that website anyway, because of everything that Kim's talked about, that I don't know. Yes. Oh, remember the lady? She sold farts in jars.
No. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. They did a whole, like, Inside Edition, whatever, news report on her. Yeah. And that's the biggest scam ever. I'd be like, oh, sorry, must have leaked out. It did not smell. I just get fart spray. There you go. Bye. What the hell?
Yes, it is intent, Vilma. It is intent.
I intend to make some money. How about my intent? I intend to not cheat on my husband and still make money. I know.
But is it cheating on your husband if was it Mike who wants the arm butt? If Mike in Napa is like, oh, and you keep showing the arm butt, is it cheating? Because you're sexually turning someone else on, you see.
Why don't I bet you if you asked David, he would not give two
He'd be like, what the F are you talking about, is what he'd say.
Until you showed him how much you can make off showing arm butt, right? Or stepping in pudding.
What is it you want to do? I don't think I'm comfortable with that.
You don't think he'd be comfortable with that? I know 100%. If I was comfortable with it, my husband would have zero problem with me walking and pudding. Hands down, would not care.
People ask what you're doing, and then you have to tell them, oh, what do you do for a living? And they say, oh, what do you do? Oh, I show my arm butt on OnlyFans.
You're an influencer. The word is, I am an influencer.
Through Goop on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And people pay me a lot of money to do that. And you know what the person's going to be thinking right after you say that? Shoot, what can I do to make money on OnlyFans? Ta-da! There you go. All right. We're going to talk movies, something a little more civilized, even though people go to the movies and do dirty things to themselves. A big thank you to people that have been donating, though, to our super chat. Pamela was the very latest with a $10 super sticker. Thank you, Wes, as well, for the $5. And Wes. Lorraine came in with $20, and Rick started us off with $20. We love you guys very much. If you want to continue hearing us debate the important topics of the day and the not so important topics of the day, please consider donating to our monthly Patreon. TheNikkiMedoroShow.com is
please
where
don't make Nikki put her feet in pudding.
It's like, exactly. Do you want, but some people might be like, you know what? I'd like to see this.
We're begging you to let us keep our arm butts to ourselves.
And the email's on there, if you want to throw out an amount and see if have me send you a video with my feet in pudding.
Oh God, I'm going to die right now here in this moment.
All right. Tim Sika is waiting in the wings. We'll talk movies next after Kim's news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Now, I have been remiss in not giving you some state news today, so let's talk California. There's a Southwest Airlines plane out of service in Southern California. It was damaged when the pilot apparently hit a bird yesterday while landing at the Hollywood Burbank Airport. The flight was coming in from Las Vegas, landed safely with no injuries. Video shows a dent in the nose of the plane. Officials say it will now undergo a maintenance review. Also in California, we've had the reparations task force working. Now, an historic report on California's reparations is in the hands of lawmakers. This task force wrapped up its 2-year study yesterday by meeting for the last time in Sacramento. The 9 members recommended more than 100 different ways to repair the harm done to Black residents. One senator said compensation could come in the form of a check or perhaps free college tuition and health care. Ultimately, the legislature will have the final say on what happens here. More action being taken to fight fentanyl in Northern California. Governor Gavin Newsom doubling the CHP deployment in San Francisco. He calls the results so far nothing short of extraordinary. He says in 6 weeks, officers have seized enough fentanyl to potentially kill the city nearly 3 times over. The patrols have also led to 115 arrests. Governor Newsom teased another operation to start soon with the DEA and the FBI as well. The governor also, by the way, condemning the Supreme Court ruling on affirmative action. Governor Gavin Newsom speaking out today. He says no court case will ever shatter the California dream. It's his reaction on the rulings that colleges can no longer consider race in the admissions process. He says campus doors remain open for all who want to work hard. He says our commitment to diversity, equity, and equal opportunity has never been stronger. California ended affirmative action at public colleges in 1996. But Governor Gavin Newsom, according to after the Supreme Court ruling, says we have not, the dream has not died here in California. Okay, let's talk about this bear. A Colorado Parks and Wildlife representative says a hungry bear made a decent mess after deciding to revisit a Grand Country home earlier this week. Wildlife officers say the bear managed to open an unlocked door at the home in Granby. The bear left, but then came back a few hours later and came back inside the house. He left, he came back a few hours later, re-entered the home. The mess left by the bear rated a 3 on the scale of 1 to 5, so not so bad, right? Parks and Wildlife says homeowners in bear country need to lock all their windows and their doors because bears will return. If they learn they can get into the building and search for food, they will do it, they will come back, and they will get the food. I'm Kim McAllister, and this is the Nikki Medoro Show.
I'm back. Sorry, I was getting all of my movies together for Tim Sika.
And here I thought you were doing something with your feet.
You don't know what's going on under this desk now. Now the question mark will always be swirling. What is Nikki doing under the seat? No, that's just my normal feet. Not wearing any shoes, though, if that does it for you. All right. It's time to bring Tim Sika into this nonsense that we have on a Friday afternoon. Hi, Tim Sika.
Hi, Nikki. We Kim and I have been having a kind of a fun time while you've been away.
Yes.
Talking. Yeah. Well, we missed you though. We really.
Oh, good. Well, I am so glad that you guys are keeping the show going. I will be gone again next week, though. I'll be in Hawaii, though, but I'll be posting videos just to let you guys know from my travels. So keep it tuned to our YouTube channel. So there are a bunch of things to watch, and given the Supreme Court rulings and everything, yeah, that's the view, Tim, by the way, of my hotel, if you could see that right there.
Okay, yeah.
But this one seems a bit timely. It's called Everybody.
Yeah. Well, this is going to become known as the Intersex documentary, I think. Okay. It's a terrific documentary. It's directed by Julie Cohen, who made that other terrific documentary about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RBG. Have either of you seen that? It's really good. It's about Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I didn't get to watch that, no.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Anyway, Everybody, which is a great title for this movie, is this multi-pronged story that showcases 3 intersex protagonists. Well, what it actually is it's this revealing, informative, and illuminating exploration of the lives of intersex people, and it focuses on 3 intersex individuals: an actor and screenwriter, a political consultant, and a PhD student, and it tells their stories. And what the movie essentially does is that it advocates for a greater understanding of the intersex community, and it goes into depth about how intersex people have been treated by their families, which can be summed up in either not being told the truth about their bodies, or if told, to make sure they keep it a secret, and how they have been treated by the medical community, which in most cases has involved this unnecessary surgery. Oh. So it's everything a great documentary should be. It's a fascinating subject. The subject matter is fascinating. The people in it are interesting. It's informative, it's factual, and it's very, very entertaining. In an interview I recently did with Julie Cohen, the director, she said that she was a firm believer that all documentaries should also be great date movies. And this definitely kind of fits that bill in that it's just it's so joyous, and you can picture couples going to see this movie and coming out of it with a great empathy for what these people are going through.
Yeah. Now this is only in theaters though, right? This is not streaming.
Yeah, only in theaters. Yeah, which is a big deal that Focus Features has acquired this movie and is releasing it in theaters across the country. It's a big deal, I think, for intersex people. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, next up, Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. I have no idea what the hell this is.
Yeah, this is one of those movies, animated movies in particular, where if it were any longer, it might not have worked at all. But at 91 minutes, where a lot of repetition that's common in many animated movies of this scope has actually been eliminated, it works pretty well. Certainly as a story, I'm not sure that there's any underlying message in this, but as a story, it's entertaining. And the title really can serve as the synopsis for this movie. It's about a 15-year-old teenager, Ruby Gillman, and she's a kraken, right? AKA a giant sea monster, but only when she hits the water. Otherwise, she's just a shy teenager trying to fit into her high school. And yeah, even though the trailers were screaming, oh no, stay away from this. This looks awful. I found it really entertaining and colorful. Probably the only thing new about it, though, is that it's trying to rewrite mythology. In this movie, the Krakens are actually the protectors of humans, while the mermaids are the monsters.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, go figure that. It's a DreamWorks movie, so I'm wondering if they're taking a dig at Disney, and and Disney's mermaids and how they, funny. I don't know, but it's got an excellent voice cast. Jane Fonda plays Ruby's Lana Condor voices the lead. Toni Collette plays her mother, and Jane Fonda, who is everywhere you look these days. This woman is working. She's on a work tear.
Yeah,
she voices Ruby's grandmother, Grandmama. She's a Kraken too, of course. Grandmama is how she pronounces it, accent on the second ma. But she plays the queen of the Krakens, whose throne Ruby is supposed to inherit and take over. So there's a little whiff of the Princess Diaries in this too. So it's a nice female lead character and a nice movie for kids. And I think adults too. I mean, because this adult found it totally diverting. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm always looking for something new to watch with the kids, because everything seems to be a little heavy sometimes. So
hey, I have a question for you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Did you see Spider-Man Across the
Spider-Verse? I did.
What'd you think?
It could have been shorter. I liked it. I really did.
It was long. Yeah.
Is it going to be a spoiler alert for me to say it's to be continued, but it's to be continued?
No, everybody knows that already.
Okay.
The movie's been out a couple of weeks. No.
Okay, good. Yeah. When I saw the to be continued, I'm like, really? We couldn't wrap this whole story up with a bow after all of this time. I was entertained though. I was. I thought it was good. I really did. I really thought it was good. The whole multiverse and everything. I thought it was interesting, but again, it could have been edited. I feel like sometimes they just throw everything in nowadays, and
they pretty much
didn't need to
do.
be so long.
Yeah. How did your kids like it?
They loved it. Yeah, my son went with his birthday friends, and they all had a great old time. But it was long even for them, I think. So even I looked at my son, I was like, that could have been shorter. He's like, yeah, it could have been like a half hour shorter.
Well, a lot of bang for your buck.
Exactly. There you go. If I'm going to pay those ticket prices, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. God,
all right, there's another. I guess this is animated. Is it Nimona?
Yeah, Nimona. It's another computer animated futuristic adventure movie, which is really interesting. The background for this movie, it was originally acquired by Disney, but you mentioned the Supreme Court, but it was let go because of its gay content, and it got pushback from Disney leadership. Now, Nimona isn't what I would call a gay animated feature or a gay movie per se, but it does have a subplot about two knights who are in this intimate relationship with each other. It's an aside to a bigger story, but it doesn't shy away from showing you that these knights are gay. But anyway, the story's main focus is on this teenage character, Nimona, of the title, who is a shapeshifter, and how she befriends one of the knights just alluded to, who is wrongly accused of having murdered the queen of their kingdom. It takes place 1,000 years into the future, this story. He's about to be knighted or acknowledged or something, I'm not sure. But the sword he's using accidentally kills the queen. That's not a spoiler. You find that out in the first 5 minutes. Anyway, so that's the plot. And what this winds up being, it's a sort of like combination queer allegory, which I would be completely comfortable showing to my kids, and political allegory too, about fascism and manipulating people through fear and fake news and all sorts of trickery and deception. And it's also about fighting the monster we fear, which in the end is really about the monster inside ourselves, the product of our own projections onto others that we either fear through ignorance or hate because of prejudice of some sort. It's quite interesting and refreshing in that it takes on these topics. And I know I may be making it sound heavy. It's really not. It's the opposite. It's adventuresome and ultimately kind of joyous. But all that other stuff is in there, and it fuels the narrative, and it's all beautifully performed and gorgeously animated. And as a work of animation, it's impeccably rendered. So I recommend it wholeheartedly. It's a different. Actually, we mentioned Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Right. It has a similar kind of animation, although it doesn't try to throw everything with the kitchen sink at you. Yeah. Exactly. But it's a good story.
And this is streaming on Netflix.
It is streaming on Netflix as of today. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and the last one that we have, Tim, is Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allowed.
Yeah. Well, speaking of gay, if there were ever a bigger movie star in his or her day, it would arguably be Rock Hudson, who was probably, certainly in terms of like mega movie star wattage, like the Tom Cruise of his day. He was a huge box office and later television star. And Rock Hudson was the man who, when women saw him on screen in those romantic comedies, they would say, well, that's the man I want to marry. And when men saw him on screen, they would say, well, that's the man I want to be. He was considered the perfect man for both women and men of that era, meaning the era when Hudson became a star in all those like glossy 1950s Douglas Sirk melodramas like Magnificent Obsession and All That Heaven Allows, which is part of the title of this movie. And this movie charts Hudson's life, his Midwest background and upbringing, his Hollywood acting career, and his tragic bout with AIDS, which ultimately did him in, but also put for the first time, because Hudson died in 1986, right really at the height of the pandemic or epidemic, a public face to this disease that initially was largely misunderstood and hugely feared by the public. People thought if you were in the same room with some of these AIDS patients, you were going to get it. But anyway, and then, of course, after he died, his personal life also became public. And that's when the world learned that Hudson was gay and that he lived essentially two lives, a public one, that of the macho heterosexual dream guy on screen, and a private one, which is antithetical to the image the studio created for him. So the movie goes into all of that, how everybody in Hollywood pretty much knew that he was gay, but that they also really didn't care that he was, or what anybody in the business did for that matter, as long as the people in the business played the game. And Hudson did. He let the studio manufacture this image for him. And there's these great clips from his movies, and it was fascinating, Nikki. Many of the clips that they showed, a lot of the dialogue from some of those movies that he was in were seemingly almost coded and weirdly, in retrospect, alluded to Hudson's homosexuality, especially the romantic comedies. There was the scene, an example was there was a scene, he was in this romantic comedy with Leslie Caron, who played a doctor. And she looks at him at one point, he's coming out of the closet, and she says to him, to his character, hiding in closets isn't going to cure you. and at the time, obviously, that line just was, I guess, a funny line. But when they were showing throughout this documentary clips like that, where you're going, oh my God, it was almost like it was like art imitating life or something, or vice versa. Anyway, it's highly watchable, very enjoyable. Anybody interested in Rock Hudson, the actor, or in Hollywood history in general, will no doubt find a lot to enjoy here, because this was also an interesting documentary on how stars at the time of the studio system were literally manufactured by a whole bunch of people for public consumption. I mean, what you saw on the screen was not necessarily what was going on behind the screen.
Do you think that's still the case? Do you think that that they're still manufacturing these things, that these people, these situations, these couples, and marriages and all that?
Yeah. I think to a large extent, yes. The difference was that in the 50s and even in the 60s, not so much, because the studio system was starting to break down. But the difference is that the studios took care of everything for the actor. They basically said, look, if you behave yourself in public, we'll furnish you with a home. we will, make sure you have everything you need. We'll take care of you. And for the most part, they did. Like if they ever got caught in some kind of compromising position, immediately the head publicist of the studio would come out with something to totally diffuse whatever controversy the actor or the actress was involved in. So that's the only difference. I think, Hollywood is what? Business of illusion. I mean, it's all
image, everything like that.
Image. Yeah.
But it must be so hard for someone like Rock Hudson. I'm sure people today just not being entirely true to who they are, and yet becoming these iconic kind of actors and being so successful in one part of their life, but not in another. And that's
it's fun. It's funny too, because I mentioned Tom Cruise. I was just thinking of something too. I was reading some stuff about Cruise. The sources were pretty reliable. But speaking of image, he doesn't have a studio behind him cultivating that image, but he's very, very, very conscious of his image to the point where, people are starting to question how authentic a person he is. Anyway, that's a whole nother.
That's just being in Hollywood too. Yeah. And I always say it must be hard for actors and actresses to have real relationships. One, especially if you're successful and you're rich, you feel like people are just after you. And two, if I was the person on the other side, how do I believe anything they say? They're an amazing actor. So
exactly. Yeah. I remember Alfred Hitchcock once in an interview, he said, that's why there's so many multiple marriages in Hollywood, because a lot of these actors, they'll meet in a love scene, that they're filming. And then, if there's chemistry, and they say, okay, take 5, they go off to a trailer somewhere and then they get married.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Tim Sika, we adore you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, you're welcome.
And so it was all 4 thumbs up. Everybody, it's in theaters. It's a documentary about intersex people. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, animated. It's also in theaters. Rock Hudson, that we just talked about, on HBO Max. If you want to watch, it's just Max now, I guess.
Yeah, it's just Max. Yeah.
Nimona is on Netflix, and that's the teenage shapeshifter animation. Good reviews, so something to watch on this holiday weekend.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
I will see you in 2 weeks. You'll be here with Tim next Friday.
Looking
Bye,
forward
Tim
to
Sika.
it. Okay, bye-bye, ladies.
Bye.
Yeah, so I'm going to Maui. I do want to include this because we have a couple of minutes, and since we were talking about movies, did you see this? And I apologize if you already talked about it, but I've been wanting to show it off. Do you know that you can rent this Airbnb?
It's the Ken and Barbie house.
Yeah, buddy. Would you live in that?
Not in its current iteration, but I bet once the fanfare dies down, if it ever does, I mean, maybe I was thinking maybe it will turn into something like the Goonie house in Oregon,
maybe,
where people flock to it, people want to see it. I know the Scream house in Marin, they Airbnb rented it out when the Scream movie came out. It was a big deal.
Do they do it anymore, or is it just like that limited amount of time?
I think it was that limited time, and I think for this too, they're giving away 2 one-night stays at this Airbnb. But I don't know if this is going to turn into a tourist attraction, like, where movie fans come and kind of gawk at it, or if they're going to repaint it and sell it and
it's a gigantic house. It's pretty cute. I mean, obviously they're doing it for the Barbie. I'm excited to see the Barbie movie. I totally want to see it. Yeah, it's in Malibu. Alone. Of course it's in Malibu.
A lot of people are excited about this Ken and Barbie movie. It's supposedly going to make, they think, on its opening weekend between $70 and $80 million at the box office.
I mean, it has Margot Robbie. It has Ryan Gosling. If you want to rent this house, though, on Airbnb, it's free. Apparently certain things happen where they're not charging for it. You just have to enter, I guess, the lottery. It's open as a prize, and you could stay in it for 1 night, and they're giving 2 one-night stays. So there is the Barbie. Actually, it's the Ken house. It's
a pretty nice pool. Oh, it's Ken's house? Of course.
It's Ken's house.
Because the man would own everything, right?
Well, it's Ken's house. It has horses in it, like gigantic horses. I think Barbie had her own little house. So I think this is Ken's house. That's what they're calling it. But I get what you're saying. All right, guys, please click the thumbs up button. Show your support of the show. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. Let's do the thank yous again. Why not? Rick with $20, Lorraine with $20, Wes with $5, and Pamela with $10. We love you guys.
Thank you guys.
And thank you to all of you who donate outside of the live. I can't give you live thank yous, but this is the live thank you to all of you as well. And please please sign up to be a monthly Patreon subscriber. TheNikkiMedoroShow.com is where you find the links to that and everything else. Aloha, aloha, aloha. I'm so freaking excited. But again, just a reminder, I will be posting stuff. I'll try to go live if the Wi-Fi allows it, depending on where I am. I think I could probably get that done. If not, I'll be taking pictures and posting things on all the social media, including this channel right here.
You know, we can't wait to see you squish your toes in the sand, Nikki.
I'm doing that video just for you, for free. I'll throw that one in for free. Everything else, you're going to have to tip me, okay?
Yeah.
All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you. And Kim will be here next week. Love you. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.